What? Oh, thank you, 3.
Thank you.
Steve, you seem a little preoccupied.
I don't know what you mean.
Preoccupied? You seem preoccupied.
Yeah, I know what you said, Dave. I don't know what you mean. It's a pretty big word.
It seems as if, and here's a stretch, as if you have something on your mind.
I'm thinking about changing my name.
Oh no, Steve, the lawyers are still going to come
not
find
because
you.
of that. No, I'm bored. I mean, aren't you bored with your name? I mean, come on, it's Dave.
Well, what's wrong with the name Dave?
Oh, no, nothing, I suppose. I mean, because you can mix it up. You've got Dave, David, Davey, but that's about it, though.
So what are you thinking of changing your name to? Ass?
I don't know. It's not even so much the name as it is the spelling and the pronunciation. Steve, Steve.
Well, some Steves, they go by Steven, and they have a PH in the middle.
No, that's not really for me. I'm thinking about taking it even further. Something artsy, like Styav. Yeah, like Steav. Pronounce it Styav. Maybe toss in a Q, maybe an X. Tell people those letters are silent.
Well, if they're silent, then why throw them in there?
Well, why do you use a letter that you don't even need?
Well, what letter don't I need?
The letter E at the end of Dave.
But the E makes it Dave. Without the E, it's Dav.
Now that's a name you could wrap your artsy self around.
Really possible. Oh, shoot. Hello and welcome to This Week in Review with Maine Rep and the Chamber of Comedy. I'm Dav Hanwright.
And I'm Styav Burnett. And this week's update is brought to you by Cousin Sal's Cheese and Sausage Pastries. When you need to wrap your entire breakfast into a 2,000-calorie, icing-topped, wallet-sized pocket of fun, make it Cousin Sal's. Now in spicy turkey. Dav?
Styav. If you think grocery stores are running out of groceries, you're not mistaken.
That's right, Dav. Our local food markets tell us it's not so much a lack of food coming their way, it's rather a lack of employees that they can keep to unload the trucks of nutritious goodness.
We caught up with Denise DeNephew, general manager of the Food Hole discount grocery store in Wiscastle, who tells us more.
Oh, it's crazy here. Let me tell you, folks is spoiled. Customers complaining that instead of the 6 brands of beans that we usually have on the shelf, we only have 4, God forbid. Or in the butcher section, we're down to limiting it to 1 beef tongue per customer. I hate to ration such delights as much as the next person, but during these hard times, you need to do what you can, and sometimes that means sacrificing for the good of others. For me, if I don't count my own, I haven't had a tongue in my mouth in weeks, and I live alone, and that's by choice. Look, I have habits that some people might not approve of, but I'm not going to change for anybody. It's out of the question. We can't get good workers to help us unload the trucks, okay? That's the bottom line. There's probably hundreds of beef tongues sitting in the back of the trucks just waiting to be unloaded, and they're just rotting away, never to find their way onto anyone's plate or in anyone's mouth hole. And that's just a pert near shame. We thought about charging folks $20 for 5 minutes, opening up the back of the truck and letting them go in, and in those 5 minutes they can take whatever they want and then they get to keep it. But then we got to thinking, what if we charge everybody $20 and they go in there and they all go straight for the beef tongue and zip, boop, beep, just like that, we're out of it. It's like that wedding dress shop when they open the doors and all the women just beeline it straight to the cheap ass dresses that show all the boobage and they're knocking each other and stampeding and all the mayhem and the humanity and all over a beef tongue. And maybe beans. Other than that, we're really all set on the groceries. It's just really the beef tongue and the beans.
Gotta love a good beef tongue with a side of beans, huh, Dav?
Stiev, on a somewhat related note, before you know it, the leaves will be turning and fall will be upon us. And that means long sleeve weather.
Oh, I love the long sleeves. I'm wearing 2 right now.
But it also means allergies. For those suffering with asthma, a change of season can bring anxiety and expense with inhalers and more costly medical devices.
That's right, Dav. But a new app has been created for those suffering with such allergy maladies and in need of finding the cheapest option available to them in their immediate area.
And it's unique in its implementation. You take your phone and simply lick the screen, the entire screen. And within mere moments, your phone will display the nearest location with which you can find a reasonable inhaler.
You know, what I like about this is now I don't have to give people reasons when they see me licking my phone.
This isn't a real story, is it?
Since
Stiev?
when has that ever stopped us?
You wrote this because of the phone screen licking habit you have, didn't you?
In other news, longtime beloved cartoonist and humorist Midge Clampers has passed away at the ripe old age of 118. What do you think she died of?
She was 118 years old, for one thing. Best known for her characters Manchester Marvin and his on-again, off-again romantic interest, Sweet Colleen, Ms. Clampers attributed her long life and success to drinking and stealing ideas from other cartoonists and blackmailing anyone who threatened to turn her in.
She will be missed for certain.
And now, on a personal note, here's Stiev.
Thanks, Dav. If you're anything like me, first, congratulations. But if you're starting to get a little cabin fever with the ongoing pandemic, you are not alone. Or maybe you are, and that's even worse. Maybe it's time to take up a new hobby. Vacuuming, doing dishes, making your bed.
His hobbies?
Might I suggest getting a pet? Now, as many of you know, I've been a dog person all my life, as has Dav. I've got 2 rescues right now, in fact. They have been both a comfort and a source of calm for me in times where I might otherwise get a little out of hand with the crankiness and the unknowingness of all this. Now, I'm not going to tell you what kind of pet to get. That's up to you. It could be a dog, a cat, a couple hundred bunnies, maybe even your very own pony or a big fat beaver.
Well, I don't love beavers, Steve.
The point is, find something that forces you to think about someone other than yourself. You'll be glad you did. Dav?
That's it?
Yes.
Well, that's actually a really thoughtful message, Steve.
I'm sorry, who?
Stiev.
Hey, was my tie straight?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about my hair? The hair look good? Mindy? Cindy? Everybody? The hair? Do we need to shoot another? We're good? I looked good? Skin tag? Okay? All right, great.
That's This Week in Review with Maine Rep in the Chamber of Comedy. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dav Hanwright.
And I'm Stiev Burnett.
Until next time,
Remember, when news breaks out, so do we. Thank you.
and good night. Well, that went well, I thought.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm thinking about changing my name back to Steve. You know, It's so much more solid. And
Yeah.
you sounded like an idiot saying Stiav.
I felt like an idiot saying Stiav. Look, you don't really have a pet beaver, do you?
What? You don't?
No. Speaking about the beaver, are those your real teeth?
You know, that's an interesting story.